next thing we're going to talk about is standing position. And so if you'll notice, a lot of people stand with their pelvis pushed forward. And you can tell they're doing it by looking at their legs. You want to have your legs as a pillar of support, a straight vertical line from your hip bone down to right in front of your ankle bone. One quick way that you can tell if you're pushing your hips forward is just to look down at your ankles. You can't see your ankles if your hips are forward. So automatically looking down at your ankles is going to push that pelvis back a little bit. So from the position of looking at your ankles, try to keep your pelvis where it is and think about standing up from there. It's going to feel a little bit weird at first if you're used to standing with your pelvis forward, but go ahead and look in a mirror. It doesn't actually look as weird as it feels. One thing that we want to do when we're standing is we want to think about letting the hips and the chest have some separation, have some openness in this area. Think of your belly as being relaxed, and it kind of almost helps to visualize that someone is holding you by the rib cage and that you're just kind of able to bend your knees and lift your feet off the ground, and just imagine what it would feel like to have your pelvis hanging from your rib cage, just creating that relaxed separation where I'm open through here, my lower back is relaxed, my pelvis is moved back, and you can roll the shoulders and just kind of feel what it feels like to be in this position. Now, a lot of times when people are standing for a long period of time, they end up hipping out, right? This is very common, pushing your weight over to one side, popping the hip out, and just kind of standing like this. So the problem with that is that, of course, I'm pushing my spine into a weird position, and the more I do it, the more I'm creating unnecessary wear and tear on my body. And so one alternative to doing that is just simply staggering the feet, one in front of the other. You can shift your weight around from foot to foot a little bit if you're starting to feel uncomfortable, but it's a nice alternative to throwing your hip out and really getting your body out of whack. This next exercise is designed to sort of create more space between the rib cage and the pelvis, and also to strengthen the upper back. Now, it depends on what kind of state your lower back is in. So if your lower back is giving you problems, you might not like this one, and so you should sit it out. I'll show you an alternative in a moment. But for now, we're going to take the legs nice and wide, and this is actually an exercise that I did in junior high PE class, so maybe you'll recognize it. So I'm going to start with the arms out, and I'm going to reach opposite hand towards opposite foot. So I'm going to go like this, and you'll notice my arm that is up is pulling back. I'm engaging my upper back and the top of that shoulder. So let's do a couple of these. And when I get up into the in-between position, I'm going to do a little pulling those shoulder blades together. Good. Now, like I said, if your lower back is not happy, you can just simply do the pulls, pulling the shoulder blades together, palms forward, pulling the shoulder blades together. Now, wait a second to do this forward fold, walk around a little bit, cool down a little bit, and when your heart rate has gone down a bit, we're going to just simply fold forward. If you can't touch the ground, bend your knees a little bit, and you want to get in a position where you can just let your head completely hang, giving your neck a little bit of traction. Take a couple deep breaths here. And from here, if you're someone who rolls their feet inwards, when they stand, like roll your feet into your arches, we're going to do the opposite in this position. If you're someone who rolls your feet out toward the outside of your feet, you're going to do the opposite of that. So I roll my feet inwards when I stand. So now in this position, I'm going to roll my feet outwards. And from this forward folded position, it's going to give me a nice, intense stretch down the outside of the legs. I'm going to continue to breathe, let my head hang, and when it's time to come up, roll up very slowly, one vertebrae at a time.